I can assist, I can go through all the details with you in an appointment. So I just wanted to double check. Richard, what's your last name? I haven't got it. Is it McLean?
It's McLean. Oh, you have got it. M for Mary,
Sorry,
C for...
I thought I didn't, but I've got this inquiry in two-part form. Sorry.
Oh, well, what was the inquiry? What did it say?
So I was looking at my sheet, which was based off your voicemail, and I've just seen an email now that you've left through our website. So I can see that you've got a Comcare case at the tribunal for a brain injury sustained.
Well, actually, it's a bit more involved in that. I'll try and be clear. It was actually from a conspiracy that perverted the course of justice. I didn't know I was set up and framed. I lost 2 VOCAT cases, and I couldn't work with my client who was having his VOCAT case, and I fought my own sexual abuse case for 3 years with 0 outcome, and I was told I was doomed to fail. Now, this was highly upsetting. I didn't know I was framed. I left work and went for my income assist, which didn't pay because I have a public profile of someone who had a mental illness. So anyway, long story short, all the agencies acted to rob me of prosperity, work cover, everything, that's still going. And it's been, and then I became like a kind of a vagrant, really. My family mistook that for mental illness and locked me up in a psych ward where I actually attempted suicide, and that's where the brain injury came from. So, in actual fact, the delaying and deferring of any prosperity and the systemic oppression of me, which is government wide, actually caused that injury. You know, so there's a few things going on, and
Who was your employer?
so I had a contract with the NDIS and the NDIA. Now, the incident at Comcare, they rejected me on a technicality. However, they're saying I didn't work for them, but I mean I got paid by them. It's just a matter of if I'm a worker or sole trader. I'm both, you know. But it just says base.
I'll explain that quickly for you just on that note. You're not entitled unless you're considered an employee under the Comcare system. So that would be on the basis that you're rejected. So they've rejected on the basis that you didn't work for them in the capacity as an employee rather than as a subcontractor.
Can I just interject with you there something that's very, very simple? I'll just Google right now, NDIS, who is a worker, right? Now, there's a few things going on here. First of all, everyone I talk to seems to be on their side. Now, I'm owed work cover from somewhere. That is abhorrent that I haven't got it. And it says here, who is a worker? Under the NDIS Commission, a worker is anyone who is employed or otherwise engaged to provide NDIS supports and services to people with a disability. Workers can be paid or unpaid, and can be people who are self-employed, employees, contractors, consultants, and volunteers. Bang. That's what I understand. That's on their website. I don't know about legislation.
I can tell you now. Look, I'm sorry. I'll cut you short here because I need to explain a few things. The definition of a worker, firstly, isn't under what the NDIS.
Who do you work for? The government?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm a private lawyer.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious because
I'm just telling you the law, Richard. I'm telling you the law. The applicable.
Well, you know what? I am a person with a disability, and under the Charter of Human Rights of People with a Disability, I should be having a lawyer. I should have a lawyer.
Richard, I'm trying to help you.
I'm trying to explain one simple thing. It is inequitable and unfair for an AAT meeting to go ahead.
I'm trying to tell you the law. I'm not contradicting you. I'm trying to
tell
you the law. Okay? You've called a lawyer. I know the law. I'm trying to tell you it. Okay? If you would like advice, I'm happy to give it. But if you're not going to listen, I can't help you. So if you want to hear it, you need to hear me out.
I don't want to argue with you. Please tell me. Go on.
Okay, thank you. So what scheme you fall under is the Comcare scheme, okay?
No, it's not. It's the SRC Act.
Exactly right. Under the SRC Act, the definition of an employee is different worker that you just read out to me, okay? In order for you to be entitled to an accepted Comcare claim to get the flowing on benefits, there are certain tests you need to meet, and there are certain definitions you need to fall under, okay? So that's probably the first line of confusion that you've got there, and that's what's frustrating you. I understand that, okay? First of all, you need to be classified as an employee, all right? They've rejected you based on the basis of what you're saying, on the basis that you are not an employee. But let's put that to the side for one minute, all right? In order to be entitled to the flow-on Comcare benefits, you need to show that your injury was caused by your work to a significant degree, right? I can already tell you now they're not going to accept your brain injury. The reason being...
No, that happened later. That happened later. Of course they won't accept it. It happened later.
I know what happened later. The psychiatric injury sustained from what you've said happened at work is separate from your brain injury. So there is a difference in between the injuries there. They're not all caught up in one because they're going to separate them, right?
Exactly.
The reason you're going to separate the brain injury is because it was caused by your voluntary action, regardless of how ill you were. What you may be able to claim for is the illness which led to your suicide attempt. So that's something that that we should focus on there.
Right, yeah, I see.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, right?
Yeah.
So the brain injury, unfortunately, you won't be able to come for. They're going to say, well, that didn't happen at work, and it was as a result of your own action. It's got nothing to do with us. And as terrible as it is, that's correct.
I'm sorry, no, can I just please let me interject? I was framed by my former partner who worked for ASIO. He still owes me $500,000. He swore to ruin my life. He has power and pull and privilege. And I lost 2 VOCAT cases, which were unlosable. I couldn't take the age, my old workplace. I couldn't get anything with any government agency anywhere to work. And I only realised something was fishy when it took 3 years for the sexual abuse case to get in front of a magistrate, and she wrote to me and said I was doomed to fail, but she waited till I was out of time before I could appeal. So,
right, so I can't help you with that. Because that's not got anything to do with a Comcare claim.
No, but it does. But the reason I'm saying that is because I partly left work because I was going through my own trauma of my own sexual abuse case at VOCAT, and I was doing a VOCAT case for my client. So, in actual fact...
Exactly right. That's why you can't claim for it. Because
but my work was rendered illegitimate, and he was abusive, and he upset me. We already put plans in place so I wouldn't have been triggered by his sexual incest and rape issues, and we'd protected ourselves like that. But it was a complex combination of things, and that was absolutely true in the hundreds of emails that I sent to him and the hundreds of abusive emails that I've got from him.
That's the point, Richard. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There are a number of matters here which happened irrespective of your employment, which were all contributing. So I'm not disbelieving you. I do believe you. I'm telling you that there is a good reason why you're having trouble with Comcare, and it's because you're falling short of the test. There are too many outside factors which are causing your psychiatric injury. So, and your employer, on the basis of what you're telling me, really doesn't have much to do with it. So they're going to reject on that basis. In terms of your VOCAT matters, they've been dealt with. You've appealed them, you've tried, you've gone through it.
No, I haven't appealed, and I haven't had the opportunity to appeal. And the evidence that I needed from the police, who are also pinned against me, is that I got the freedom of information from the police, and they refused to release the video of the event, which would have exonerated me of all criminal intention, and they pinned it on me. So it's a systemic conspiracy to pervert the course of justice.
Unfortunately, that's not my area of expertise. I can't assist in that respect. I called you to advise you specifically in relation to your inquiry about Comcare. And Richard, my advice to you is you're not going to succeed on it. And I'm sorry about that, but I can't lead you down a path. I can't tell you you will, and that I'm going to do all these things for you. The writing's on the wall for you there. However, you are more than entitled to go and seek a second opinion.
They're a government agency, and as a former partner in ASIO, and who I know was present at murders and dealt cocaine and embezzled $1.5 million in an offshore tax haven, which I called out, they would prefer me die than all the evidence come out. Now, I have got things at the Attorney General, I've got things at Greg Hunt's office, I've got a CDD scheme at the Finance Minister, I have suffered detriment of millions and millions of dollars from Australian Human Rights Centre, from AFCA. They have all watched, aided, abetted, waited, denied, delayed all my outcomes, and I am homeless.
Yeah, look, Richard, I'm sorry about all that, but like I said, I can't assist in those matters. I can only advise in respect to the Comcare aspect, and my advice is, as I said, unfortunately, based on your instructions, you would fall short of the required thresholds of the SRC Act. So
you don't know anything about my situation, though.
You've just told me, Richard, and I'm giving advice based on what you've told me. That's all I can give you. So
Okay, I just want to say two things before you go, because you've made up your mind you're not going to represent me. One of them...
I've given my advice, exactly right. Richard, with the greatest respect, I've spent nearly 15 minutes with you listening to you. If I could assist you, I would. I'm in the business of trying to help. So, I don't get...
Please, if you just let me say two sentences. Two, that's all, and then I'll let you go.
Go ahead, but I cannot assist you. Go ahead.
Okay. Under the Charter of Human Rights of People with a Disability, and my brain injury came much later, as we know, it is inequitable, unfair, and illegal that I don't have equal justice and equality and legal representation at a hearing or any issue before the law. That is in the foundation and ratified by the Australian Government in 2008. Why is it that I can't go to police, I can't be a whistleblower, and I can't get a lawyer? Why?
I've told you because I can't assist you with Comcare, your matter is not viable. In relation to the other...
You're not answering my question. It's more systemic than that. I can't report rape or murder to the police.
Yes, you can. I'm not stopping you from reporting things...
No, I'm telling you I can't. Can you please go to the website killhim.info and look at it? Pardon?
I'm not a human rights lawyer. I'm not a criminal lawyer. I can't assist you. As I've said, I've given you advice as to Comcare. I cannot...
Fuck her.